In this problem, we want to find the zeros of the polynomial function. So we got f of x is equal x to the third plus 8x squared minus 12x minus 96. Now to find the zeros means we're going to set this equal to 0 and solve it. So we got 8x to the third plus 8x squared, or we got x to the third plus 8x squared minus 12x minus 96 is equal to 0. Now we're going to put a polynomial on y1 and 0 on y2 on our TA3, TA4. So press y equals, press clear. Then we got x to the third, so we'll do x caret 3. Make sure you do a right arrow key if you got one of the newer T84s. Plus 8x squared minus 12x minus 96. And then down arrow to y2, press clear, and then put a 0. Process doesn't work unless you have a 0 on y2. You might have already had it like I did. Okay, now we're going to do second trace. Choose intersect, so I choose 5. Looks like negative 8 is our first answer. So let's do inner on first curve, inner on second curve, and let's try negative 8 and verify that. Yep, it looked like it passed through negative 8. Okay, our next one looks like maybe negative 3.2, negative 3.3. So we do a second trace, choose intersect, inner on first curve, inner on second curve, and I'll put in negative 3. And we get a decimal here. Now that doesn't look like it'll change to a fraction, but I could check it. Do a second mode, then math, inner. And it doesn't change to a fraction. Now, if I do second trace, choose intersect, inner on first curve, inner on second curve, this other one looks like 3.2, 3.3. If I put 3 in for the guess, I'm going to get another decimal that will not change to a fraction. If you get one decimal that won't change to a fraction, you'll have 2. They come in pairs. Okay, so we only found one answer via our calculator. Well, let's plug that in synthetic division. So we'll put the answer we found in the box. Our largest power is x to the third, so we're going to have an x to the third, an x squared, an x, and a no x. We'll write down the numbers that are in front of them. There's a divisible 1 in front of the x to the third, there's an 8 in front of the x squared, negative 12 in front of the x, and negative 96 at the end. Now we're going to go through a series of adding, multiplying over and over until we're done. We start the leftmost column. 1 plus nothing is 1. Now you always multiply by the number up in the box, by the number you put down here. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Then add. 8 minus 8 is 0. Then multiply. Multiply by the number in the box, by the number you put down there. Negative 8 times 0 is 0. Add. Negative 12 plus 0 is negative 12. Multiply. You always multiply by the number in the box, by the number you just put down there. Negative 8 times negative 12 gives us positive 96. And then add. Negative 96 plus 96 gives us 0. Now 0's remainder indicates we found an answer, which is again no big surprise because the calculator told us is one of our answers. So we have to get a 0 as remainder. Now we start out as x to the third, so we're 1 degree lower, so this will be x squared, this is x, and this is our no x. So we're left with x squared minus 12 equal to 0. Why do I set it equal to 0? Because instructions are to find a 0, so you always set it equal to 0. Now this is missing our middle term, the x part. So this is perfect for the square root property. I want to get the part that's squared by itself, so I take negative 12 to the right side, and it becomes a positive 12. The square root property, what that says is you drop your squared and you put a plus or minus square root around the other side. And that's when you got something squared is equal to something else. Well, this simplifies. 12 is 2 times 2 times 3. Remember with square roots we're looking for pairs of something. So here's a pair of 2's. They're going to come out in front as a single 2. And we got x is equal to plus or minus 2 square root of 3. So our first answer was a negative 8, and this plus or minus counts for our other 2 answers. Remember, the largest power of your polynomial tells you how many answers, how many zeros you're going to have. So we knew we were going to have 3. And those are answers.